Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as it's Christmas Eve and tomorrow's Christmas Day. And based on history, right, it's these couple of days where there's normally nothing. Yeah, there's normally nothing going on. But I thought there was a very good talking point that Maresca did speak on in the press conference earlier on in regards to Chelsea that I think would be a good conversation to have. And on top of that, we did get little bits of news coming from elsewhere, which we're going to wrap the video up with later. So make sure you stick around and keep your eyes peeled on all the content that's dropping, including tomorrow. Even though it's Christmas Day, you're getting a video because it's preview time for Chelsea's next game. Chelsea versus Fulham, right? We're playing Fulham, aren't we? Surely. Because the schedule's actually come in our favour. Fulham, Ipswich. If I'm not mistaken, after Ipswich, we've got, when it wants to load, I know we've got a very, very favourable running of games coming our way. Which, it's taking forever. Palace, I am Morecambe in the Cup, Bournemouth, Wolves, and then Man City at the end of January, which is light work as well, so it's fine. I'm looking forward to that. Bring on City. Bring them on. This is the best time to play them, honestly. Best time to play them. Anyway, so let's get cracking. Make sure you subscribe, notification bell on to keep up to date with everything. And I hope all of you are having a very happy holiday period, no matter what you're doing. So let's get into it. Here's what Maresca had to say earlier on in regards to Cole Palmer. Because Cole Palmer did not have a good game in our last game against Everton at Goodison Park. And correctly, a few people were mentioning that he should have been taken off. I don't have anything really against that because the option is there. If we didn't have the option, I'd be like, nah, come on, all right, you can't. But the option is there. We can do that. And Maresca addressed it. Here's what he had to say. He said, I keep saying that we can't rely only on Cole Palmer. He's having to adapt because he's been man-marked in almost every game. He also did go on to say in this press conference, again, thanks to Saraya with her questions, she's the only one, man. I have to stress this because journalists need to wake up, man. You know what's crazy? Journalists are operating on what used to work without realizing that doesn't fly with people anymore. You lot are still trying to go and chase the headline, try and get a soundbite, try and get him to say something. I don't know if you lot understand a thing called media training, which is something that wasn't really a thing back in the day when journalists were managing to get answers from people by triggering emotion. Now, everyone at a football club is trained, except for Cole Palmer, and I hope it stays that way. But you're looking for something you're not going to get. When Saraya comes on and she's asking him legit questions that the fan base wants to know, that people want to know, that actually has substance, that gets him thinking, that gets him coming out with things that we don't know about. That's the new direction that you got to go in. Stop chasing sound bites and start chasing knowledge. Knowledge. They're not doing that. Saraya is the only one asking legit tactical questions, pressurizing on maybe what he should have done. Will he acknowledge on a mistake that he possibly made? Those sort of things. She done exactly that because she mentioned about Cole Palmer and whether it would have been best to sub him off with the options that are there. And Maresca acknowledged it and said, yeah, the options are there. He said the only reason why I kept Cole Palmer on was because there were moments where he was managing to receive the ball and he was managing to get into good spaces. He wasn't shut down completely, but the option is definitely there. And he said moving forward, if that is still a factor, then of course we've got Zhao, Felix, and even some people will say, yeah, we've even got Nkunku to come and play in the 10 if it's got to be done. So he's acknowledged that. Now we have a clarification from the manager. But you got all these other bozo journalists trying to get him to say, oh no, we got to force him to say that they're in the title race. Yeah, Enzo, are you in the title race? 1 week later, are you in the title race? Hey, Enzo, I know you said you're not in, but surely you're in the title race. You lot need to flip and pack up and go home. Honestly, mate, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If it was up to me at this point, the only journalist I'd let in, or the only person, not even journalist, she's not even a journalist. Soraya's not a journalist, but the only person I would let in to ask questions is her. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so I completely agree. People have to understand, Cole Palmer is a very, very, very important player. Yeah. It would be silly for Enzo to just react and go, oh, you know what, take him off. But when you see that it's not working, he even said maybe a solution would be to bring Felix on and play him with Cole Palmer. Perhaps change the shape, perhaps get them to share the space, perhaps get Felix to take some pressure off of Cole Palmer, because now they've got two people to think about. That is, these little things, there are options there. And he didn't tap into it on the day against Everton. Going forward, I think he will. So, I completely agree with it. I completely agree with what you said. And I do think the next time that sort of thing happens, where it's not even a Cole being man-marked out of the game, it is Cole having a bad game. His touches were not there. His passing wasn't there. His creation wasn't really there. If he's struggling a little bit, either sub him off or get him help to take and alleviate some pressure off of him. So, there we are. I completely agree. Let me know your thoughts. And do you disagree with him? Let me know down below. Now, I want to mention this because I did see some criticism, and this is coming from someone that on the pitch is not a huge fan of the player. However, I've got to be honest here. Here's the latest about Mudryk. Enzo spoke on Mudryk after he was asked. Enzo on Mudryk's trip to Saudi for the Fury versus Usyk fight. He says it's good. He can disconnect a bit from the situation. We are trying to support him, and now we are just waiting for the B sample results. This is after Mudryk was seen in Riyadh for the fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury the other night, Saturday night, and I saw people criticizing Mudryk. With everything he's going through, with this drug stuff, with this sample stuff, right? Why is he out there watching boxing? I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. What do you want him to do? Lock himself up at home? Like, no, come on, man. This isn't even like when players, for example, they're clubbing. They're staying up till 5 a.m. They're drinking, don't know what they're doing, blah, blah. You're coming out of a nightclub, they're completely stumbling. Like, with that, I can understand if there's a bit of criticism because you have to watch your lifestyle as a footballer. You have to be careful about what you're doing, right? The man went to watch a fight. He's currently suspended from football. What do you want him to do? I hope you enjoyed the fight. I know he enjoyed the fight because Alexander Usyk, his fellow countryman, won the fight fair and square before anyone starts talking in that regard. I'm a Fury fan. I wanted Fury to win. I was watching that fight going, come on, Tyson. And then even I'm like, yo, what are you doing? So listen, Usyk won that fight fair and square and correct margin too. But he was there, Mudryk was there watching the fight, and if I'm not mistaken, at one point he was even close to Usyk's dressing room, or changing room and all of that. I have no issue with that, man. The man's gone to watch a boxing fight. And for anyone concerned about drinking and all of that, I hope you know where he was. They were in Riyadh. Yeah, they were in Riyadh season. Alcohol's not a thing there unless you go and chase it yourself in a hotel somewhere, which we wouldn't have seen anyway because at the event there wasn't any. So I've got absolutely no problem with this. People have made something out of nothing with this. So again, Mudryk, I hope he enjoyed the fight, and I'm sure he did. So let me know your thoughts on that. Reece James is back in training. And here's the picture, back in training today, all smiles as he's apparently preparing for his comeback. Listen, I've got no issue with this, right? And it's good to see Reece James back on his feet and training properly. But I am going to say one thing that I've not said before, and this is exactly how I feel, and this is exactly how I think the situation is. As far as I'm concerned, Reece is definitely welcome back into the squad, welcome back playing, absolutely. But in my eyes, he's not the number one right back anymore. He's the number two. I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's demoted now. Not because of his lack of ability. No. As I've said before, he's one of the best right backs when he's fit on his day. But I don't believe his body is going to withstand. He's just gone through way too much. And for now, Gusto is the more reliable option, the more frequent option, the one that is been holding it down, the one that we have been using much more. You are the number one right back as far as I'm concerned. Reece comes in as number 2. If it was up to me, I think he'd become a sub player. If we need him, he comes in, he gives his contribution. I would not be playing him 90 minutes every week because there's only one destination that will take him in. Another injury. I am not taking that. It's as simple as that. So for me, Reece is an option off the bench, 100%. Josh Hachiempong is there in case. But Gusto's number 1 as far as I'm concerned right now. If there needs to be some sort of tactical adjustment, some sort of shape, say for example Gusto has to go left back, then of course Reece comes in and plays 90, no problem. But for him to be the main guy week in, week out, no. He'll break. He'll break again. I'm certain. At this point, I am certain. How can you not be? So it is what it is. Do you agree? I know some of you would agree and some of you will disagree. So let me know in the comments exactly what you're thinking. Much appreciated. Now here's something good from Chelsea before we start looking elsewhere. Staff from Chelsea Foundation and the catering partner Levi worked with supporters and local charities to open the doors of Stamford Bridge for the day and invite the homeless and less fortunate in the community for Christmas lunch. Meanwhile, at Manchester United, Christmas lunch was cancelled for all staff. And why? They saved 250 grand by doing that, by the way. Just letting you know. Yet Man United saved £250,000. I don't know what sort of Christmas lunches you lot are having at Old Trafford for it to cost that much. But anyway, 250 grand was saved because of that decision. And meanwhile, Chelsea are not just holding Christmas lunches for the players. That's been done. That was done privately at Cobham. Christmas lunches for the staff, that was done also. We know about that. But also holding Christmas lunches for the less fortunate and the homeless in the community. For that, well done to Chelsea, I have to be honest. Well done to Chelsea, the Chelsea Foundation. That's going to be, most of that will be coming from the Chelsea Foundation, but Chelsea have assisted in that. So huge respect. And I think that's such a good initiative, and an initiative not taken by too many that actually have the means to try and pull that off. We do have the means. We've done that. So big up to Chelsea on that regard. And I think it's a very good gesture. Man United, take note. Take note. We'll get to United because I've got something here about them. But let's go to Liverpool. There's a very interesting development coming from Florian Plettenberg. Liverpool are especially interested in Randall Kolo Muani. The current goal is a loan until the end of the season. PSG is keen to incorporate a purchase option or obligation into a potential deal. This is bizarre for me. Them letting go of Kolo Muani from PSG? I mean, he's not lighting it up, but what have they got? At this point, PSG, what do they have? You know, so to let him go, I'll be honest, for me, it doesn't make sense. It's come from what should be a good source. Florian Plettenberg normally gives some credible things. For them to be interested in allowing this to happen, as long as there's a purchase option or obligation, so they really want him out. Again, I find that baffling. I think Kolo Muani for Liverpool would be a good buy. Liverpool are a team that has everything except that killer up top. You know, like if they had now in what they had in Luis Suarez, for example, it'd be a wrap. It would be a wrap. Oh my God, Liverpool would run away with everything. But they ain't got that. They've got Younes, for example, right? They've got players that are contributing in that essence, like Gakpo. You know, that's all they have. But they've got wingers, they've got midfielders that are doing the job. And if they just had that killer up top, it would be mental. So I can see why Liverpool are interested. I think this would be a good move for Liverpool if it were to happen. I just don't see it happening. Surely PSG don't let him go. Like I said, because if not, what else have you lot got? And what else are you going for? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear on that. Let me know in terms of what you think the options for PSG would be. And do you think Kolo Muani would kill it at Liverpool? I think he would do well. But anyway, Man United. This is what I was talking about earlier. Check this out. This is actually insane. When he found out staff would not get their traditional FA Cup final benefits, Bruno Fernandes was so taken back, he went and offered to pay out of his own pocket. His proposal was rejected, with sources speculating it would have been a bad look for Ineos. That's come from The Athletic. This is mental. This is actually insane. Now, I understand maybe there's cost-cutting things here and whatnot, but traditional FA Cup final benefits tells me that staff at Manchester United have been getting these sort of benefits for what? What are these benefits, by the way? In the detail, I can't tell you. But you know the small things, if there's little bonuses, if there's little incentives, if there's little bits that they get on a match day, final, for the final only, right? It says here, traditional FA Cup final benefits. Man United were a team that were reaching so many finals back in the day. It tells me that this was basically the custom at the club and the norm. Ineos have just gone, nah, you're not getting it. Fernandes is like, okay, I'll pay for it out of my own pocket. And they've gone, nah, mate, that will make us look bad. I mean, that's not good. You see, if they thought it would be a bad look, right, on them, well, this is a bad look on you. This is a bad look. You know what I mean? I got to be honest. I expected a lot more from Ineos. I really did. Up until now, they have done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I expected them to come in and shift everything on a footballing level because, like we know, they've taken the footballing operations, right? On a footballing level, I expected them to go crazy. The only decision that they've made is to eventually sack Ten Hag. They should have done it long ago, but eventually they did. They've not incorporated any sort of plan in terms of the team, the players, targets, who they're looking to go for, the strategy. Nothing. Very, very slow. They're very slow. However, I also have to put this there for people to understand. This, in terms of staff getting traditional FA Cup final benefits, right? Is that a footballing thing? That sounds to me more like a business matter. That should be on the Glazers, no? So that's the only thing that doesn't quite fit in this whole story is that. Is this Glazer PR? Maybe. But this is why, like, this whole thing about Ineos coming in, look, it would have had to be a thing of you actually relinquish all footballing control. And I'm not quite sure if that's the case now. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. The club is a mess. At the moment, it looks like it's a mess. So let me know your thoughts on that one. And to wrap up, interesting development by Fabrizio Romano is this. Several European top clubs are monitoring Maresca Akliouche. Now, Akliouche plays for Monaco, attacking midfielder, 22 years old, very, very top prospect. Still needs to choose his national team, and apparently him and Cherki are on their way to choosing Algeria as their national team. Just saying. Gonna have a deadly midfield again. But several top clubs. Would you take him at your club? Now, attacking midfielder, for me, I feel like there's still a little bit to go. I feel like he's a very good prospect, very talented, but still needs a little bit of time to really evolve, I would say. The talent is 100% there. It's a matter of making sure his profile as a well-rounded attacking midfielder is there, physicality is there, and mental capacity, attitude, and things like that. Because I don't know too much in terms of his mental capacity. But on the ball, in the French league, for Monaco, yeah, doing very well. Very, very, very good baller. Baller. If we're talking baller, Akliouche is a baller. So we'll see where he will end up. No, it won't be Chelsea. We've got Cole Palmer. We do not need Akliouche, okay? But other clubs might. So we'll see what happens. Let me know where you think. And I'll end it there. So, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to keep up to date on here. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've got notification bells on. Make sure you are here tomorrow for the preview for Chelsea versus Fulham. We'll get into all of that. Make sure you're following all the socials on screen and in the description. Thank you all so much. And I will see you tomorrow on the preview. Enjoy your Christmas if you are celebrating. If you're not celebrating, enjoy the time off. And if you don't have time off, enjoy work. It's as simple as that. And I'll see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves. Take care. See you tomorrow, and peace.